July 13th, 2020. Getting ready to go in and do an inspection of the beehives. Realized that I never show the smoker because I'm just busy focusing on filming the hives and what I'm doing. But I know a lot of people buy those little smoker briquettes or whatever, and they use those and they work great. I do like having something that's local and available all the time. And I learned this from my mom, who learned this from an old school beekeeper, Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin was a really interesting dude. Very, very knowledgeable about honeybees. And he claimed that the only material that you should really use for smoking bees was locust bark, and that was completely non-toxic to the bees. Now, I've since heard that there's lots of other things you can use for smoke that is non-toxic to them. But having always used locust bark when my mom had bees, and having learned that, that's just become sort of the standard and the norm for me. And so we have locust trees here on the property. The great thing about this is locusts get these big hunks of bark. They're kind of like ribs sticking out from the tree. And you can actually break hunks of that off without hurting the tree. This is actually just bark. This is actually dead material. So it's dead and it's dry and it smokes really well. And you can see if you take your hands and you grab a piece of this and you twist in opposite directions, you can see it gives you this really fibery material, which is excellent smoking material because that gives you lots of surface for creating smoke. So I find this is an excellent smoking material. It's free, it's readily available. I can get this ready probably just as quick as you can drop a briquette in there, or nearly. And it works really well. So I just thought I would share what I use for smoking. So locust bark, if you have locust trees on your property. Some of the other cool things about locust trees is they do flower, and the honeybees go for those flowers and get pollen and nectar from those. And locust trees are also a nitrogen fixing type of tree. They're actually a legume, so they can actually build nitrogen in the soil, and they're used in permaculture for that purpose, among other things. The locust wood is very strong and very dense. I think locust runs around 22 million BTUs to the cord as a firewood, and the locust poles of the smaller trees, or poles made from locust wood, can be used for fence posts, and they last for nearly forever. They're one of the few wood materials that you can put directly in the ground without treating it that don't succumb to fungi and rot in the ground. So a very flexible and useful tree, and it's great that it ties in with the honeybees so well. Alright, let's get on with this inspection. Okay, here we are. About an hour ago, the traffic in and out of both of these colonies was tremendous. In and out of that colony was decent as well. Well, let's just go get in. I think first we're going to have a look at Swarm 2 and see how they're filling boxes. Well, right off the bat, we got fresh propolis. That's a good sign. Not just a little fresh propolis, it's loaded. Okay, good. They're not really drawing comb on the top box foundations yet, so that means we have a little bit of time here. We'll take a look at this box next. And the third box, we got a lot of drawn comb and honey in here, I think. Just have a look at these foundations here. Yeah, they're just starting to draw these combs out. And there's a little bit more bee population in this box. So they're just getting ready to fill that. And then in here, this is the third box up. Looks like they're drawing, filling, and they might even be capping some of this. Yeah, some of that's capped even on the top here. So 3 boxes there. Well, we know some brood in the bottom, but if you were to just call it all honey, that's about 150 pounds of honey right there, I think. Maybe more. I think these are... Oh, actually, these might be 70 pounds of honey. Yeah, I think they're closer to 70. Well, anyway, it's a lot of honey, and it looks like since they're basically finishing filling this up, they'll be working into these next two boxes next. Alright, let's put them back together and let them do their thing. Alright, let's see. I think we'll do the check on this one first, just to see where they're at in production, and then we'll jump in and peel down through this and have a look at the colony. Okay, cover off. Lots of fresh propolis on this cover as well, which is always a good sign. And then we got lots of drawn comb. And we got well, maybe a frame or two of bees, and maybe all together maybe 3 frames of bees in the box working. So so that's good. They're filling it. I think we're going to pop this off and have a look from the bottom quick, and also have a look down into the next box and just see how the population looks and all. Alright, looking good in here. Whole box is full of drawn and capped. I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably 6 or 7 frames of bees in here, solid. So good working population. And then we'll have a look at this guy from the bottom. Oh yeah, they're drawn comb, working along. Actually looks like they're might even be filling some of that already. Some burr comb on here. Looks like they're working that frame all odd shape thanks to my crappy foundation. But looks like they're drawing that and filling it. This is being drawn and filled out here. Maybe we'll just pull this frame, drop this box back on, pull that frame and have a look. Wow, look at that beautiful comb. Nectar going in, some of it's capped. Look at that. Beautiful, fresh drawn comb. You can tell that's made from nectar because it's got that nice yellow color to it. It doesn't have that white, sugary look to it. Wow, that frame is just beautiful. It's already starting to be filled with honey. So it looks like these guys will give us at least a box this year, maybe more. We're just into the first honey flow, so there's time yet. And here we'll just take a peek at this next frame while we're here. That's drawn out nice too, so that's exciting. Alright, I'm going to drop this frame back in, let these girls keep working. Alright, so far I like everything that's going on in the apiary. Good production on. I would say we will have at least 100 pounds of honey this year in production if things continue and they finish filling that box. And this box is full, so and then hopefully they'll fill these other two. That colony is really cranking. I kind of expect them to blow up into these boxes in the not too distant future. Alright, it's time to get back in here. This was swarm number 1, and the remnants of a split that ended up being queenless. I combined these about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. That's why you see the paper towel, so they could slowly combine and not have any conflict. And so now we're going to go back in and take a look at the colony down here. This queen was, it was a small colony, but this queen was laying very well, beautiful brood pattern, and the colony was establishing nicely. I want to go back and see if she's expanded the core nest a little bit or what's going on down there. I definitely do see more traffic and activity on the landing board now, so it looks like the colony is starting to scale up and thrive. But I want an actual look at it. and then we'll take a look at these other boxes and see what's going on here. This box I think was mostly honey from that previous colony, and this one I know is full honey. I might pop that off and set that aside as a backup resource or something. But we'll see what we find when we get in here. Well, right off the bat I am greeted quite pleasantly by a good number of honeybees up in the top box here. I think that's a good sign. This population may be increasing, and that would be great. We might still be able to get some production out of these bees in addition to building up their own winter reserves. Well, let's pop this box off and see what's going on down below. Just give you a quick look at the bottom of that. That whole box is full of honey and comb pretty much. Some bees in there. The reason for the oddball structure is these were just frame tops in here. No full frame, so they built their comb in the pattern they chose. And we're looking down into this box. This was the bottom box from the split that ended up being queenless. This box was pretty much just full of honey when we installed it. Honey and some bees. Looks like there's a decent amount of bees in here population wise. Let's pop this off and have a look from below. Okay, we got it off. They've clearly chewed through the paper towel. So that's good. We can pull the rest of this off. Or most of it. Look at all that beautiful propolis on that paper towel. Okay, let's have a look in the bottom of this box. Whoops, I'm making a mess over here. There's a really good bee population in there. Seems like they're just continuing on, filling it. Alright, and let's see, I've got some old brood comb in the middle of that because this was a split. So, interesting. Oh, I got an angry honey coming at me. Alright, well, it's time to jump down in a little further. I do see some drawn comb. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I do see some drawn comb on that frame there. So that's a good sign. But let's go down in and see if we can find the queen and look at the brood pattern again and see how things are really doing down deep in the hive. Okay, bottom shot on that. You can see they're drawing comb. They've already attached these two on us, unfortunately. But there's honey in that burr comb there. And I can see, if you look here, you can see they're drawing comb out of some of these other frames as well. So that's a good sign. I think we're going to take this blue box and drop it back on here when we reassemble this, and then that can be the second box for their honey reserve. That'll take care of having the brood comb in it, and we'll have clean comb for honey extraction. Yeah. So, I don't want to tear this apart too much, but it looks like this colony size has grown a little bit, which is excellent. I think I may try and pull a few of these right-hand frames to get a look at them. I really want to see if this core nest is kind of expanding more. I think I'm going to grab an empty box to make this a little easier, though. Keep them contained. So if I end up pulling the queen, if I end up pulling a frame with the queen on it and not realizing it, she'll still be kind of contained and not mistaken to get dropped or crushed or lost. And I think I might have to take the gloves off and have a taste of some of that honey too, because those bees are making me thirsty for some honey. So I just took an empty super and the outer cover upside down. And that way as I pull frames, I can set them in the box and they're contained and not going to get mixed up. And the big thing is not end up hurting the queen, because that sets us way back. Alright, let's have a look-see at some frames here. They were second frame over from the right. There was a foundation that I put in there basically as a placeholder, or, you know, so they could build it out. Still basically just an empty foundation. And let's see, we'll hold the order on these. And then this next one, drawn comb. Oh, I think this was this was a drawn comb from last year that I put in, so they'd have some bait, you know, comb to start on without too much trouble. And then this, I think this might be the frame that had the honey all over it last time. So this side is drawn out with nectar in it, and here with the sunlight coming in like that, we get a great example of how bright that nectar shines. And you can see the difference between the cells that have it and the cells that don't have any in it yet. That is some beautiful stuff. And then this side is drawn and capped pretty much. This is 1, 2, 3. This is frame 4 in. This is about in the center of the hive where hopefully the nest will exist in the future. And this next one, as we saw last time, full of honey, capped. That's beautiful stuff. I'm so tempted to rob some of that. I won't. Oh yeah. That frame is right heavy with honey. I mean, that frame is heavy. Some open nectar on the back still. Oh, we got some brood there now. Ah, good, good. Oh, and look at all the brood on that frame. This colony is really expanding. I gotta throw a little smoke down. Somebody's getting feisty over here. Wow, well that's an excellent brood pattern to see there. Just a little bit of honey rim on the edge. So it looks like the core nest is basically starting to fill out a bit here. Let's pull that frame and just slide it over and go have a look. I don't want to leave the bees off of this brood comb for very long. It's pretty temperature critical. It's warm out today, but you know. There we go. A little bit spotty, but pretty solid overall. Lots of brood in there. Lots of brood. Lots of brood on this side too. Loaded. That's fantastic. So this colony is expanding very nicely. Very healthy growth. And again, full of brood. This one's actually really filled in nice. Loaded with brood. Rimmed with nectar and honey. Interesting. Must have been a little too shallow for them or something. Or maybe they're clearing that out from before. Haven't noticed the queen yet here. But I'm very happy about that. This nest is growing nicely. Beautiful. Beautiful. More full brood on the backside. Awesome, awesome. So this colony is blowing up now. Oh, and they got a wall occupied over here also. Alright, well that answers all my questions. This colony is really starting to ramp up. They're laying lots of new brood in, and they're growing. So that's fantastic. Alright, that's the excellent news that I was hoping for. That colony is growing, that queen is laying beautiful brood patterns, and this should be a nice full-scale strong colony by the end of the season, I would think. And we might even get some extra honey production out of it, we'll see. I'm going to take this blue box that was from the split before and put that on here, since that's got the brood comb in it. That way they can have their reserve winter honey and I don't have to deal with brood comb, older comb like that for extraction. And I'm just going to put the rest of this back together and call it an inspection for now, I think. Bang, 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 back together. This is the bottom from the split. This is a box of foundation, and then this is the other full one that I kind of keep as a floating reserve for now. Alright, I think that's it. Bees are looking good. Everything's doing well in the apiary here, and I'm very happy to have a great season, and happy to have all these wonderful bees. Hope you found this interesting or informative. If you have questions or comments, please do so down below. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network.